Hi there, welcome to ACE. Here are some reasons why you should take up economics and also learn why economics could be beneficial for you even if you decide not to take up economics as a part of your job path. Even though it may not be the career path that you may choose eventually, but learning economics will help you in multiple ways, be it whichever job you take, ranging from even from law firm, from being a lawyer to all the way to being maybe even a foreign affairs minister. So here are some reasons why. 1. Economics is easy to understand and very easy to apply. 2. Economics can be used across all aspects of life and it helps people to understand the world around them. It also enables people to understand people, which also allows you to think critically. 3. It learns problem solving and analytical skills that allow you to succeed in a variety of career paths, like I mentioned just now, ranging from law to even foreign affairs. 4. It develops critical thinking and analytical skills to examine data to support good decision and also find as a reference towards what you are proving as a claim. Okay, I can go on and on about this, but so instead, how about I teach you a few concepts and you can see how easy it is to learn econs and also how it is easy to apply it across all aspects of your life. So this is what I have learned across the past 13 weeks in my school as well. So starting first one, we'll be talking about consumer surplus. So what is consumer surplus? Consumer surplus is the price that consumers are willing to pay and the price that is actually paid. The difference between them is actually the value that the customer receives. So if there's more consumer surplus, it shows that the consumer actually receive more value for what they have paid. Okay, likewise for producer surplus, this is the vice versa. This is the price that producers are willing to pay, willing to produce at, and the price that they are being paid for. So if there is more area between this price that they are willing to pay and the price that they receive, it means they have received more money for their value that they provided. Okay, so an example would be over here. Okay, this is the demand and supply curve. So this curve, this is the quantity and this is the price, right? This is the equilibrium price that whereby both customers and the producers are willing to accept. This is where they meet. Okay, so any value above, right? Let's say if the price increases, if the price increases, right, the consumer surplus area is this area on top, right? So if the price increase in, let's say we go to here, that means the area will be shortened from this triangle into this triangle. So this is the value that they receive instead, which is a lot lesser. So if let's say price increases, consumer will not be happy and thus the value will drop. Likewise for producer surplus, this is the figure example, right? You can apply it in the same way. So if price increase, then they'll have more area for producer surplus. Okay, so this is just as simple what is consumer surplus and what is producer surplus. So now, what if we have taxes, government taxes? Right, tax will move price across, right? Then this price does not translate into earnings for the producers. It just becomes revenue for the government, and also this one does not translate into any happy things for consumer lah. So this is the price that the government takes. So as you can see over here, so government, when there's a tax, right, government will take this chunk, then the consumer surplus will decrease because of the area, and producer surplus will decrease as a result. This area, what happens to this area instead? This one becomes a deadweight loss. This is the loss when there's tax incurred, right? This affects the whole entire economy, meaning to say that this loss will result in will be lost to nowhere lah. So it's wasted potential in the economy. Okay, moving on. Now for tax on imports, and tax on imports meaning is tariffs. So why would there be tax on imports? Okay, that is only when the country has decided to open up. They have opened up to world trade, whereby world trade price is now a factor, right? It actually affects the overall price. So now I'll give you an example. Current price might be at the equilibrium, but the world trade price comes at lower. Okay, so consumers will definitely want to have lower prices, right? So when they have lower prices, what does this mean? It means that consumers have more surplus, right? Producer will have lesser surplus because the producer have to be forced to create at a lower prices and receive lesser. So hence this will happen. Consumer surplus will be this big triangle, or producer surplus will be this small triangle. This is what that's left for them. Okay, so this is how world price comes into play. It will affect the whole entire economy. Now, next, we have tariffs. This is when the government will step in for two reasons. One is that government want to protect the domestic industry, and two, government want to take some revenue as well. So when you have tariffs, right, so when you have tariffs, producers actually, yes, they do get protected. With that, they do get more producer surplus, right? But this also means that government also have their own share. The government will take some revenue as well. When government takes some revenue, what will happen? There will definitely be deadweight loss. Okay, so in this example, now we see right here, with this is the tariff. The price has increased from the world price up to this tariff price now. And now, producer surplus have ranged from just now from this small area. It has grown to this part of the whole entire triangle. So this whole entire triangle is the producer surplus. They'll be more happy. They'll be more protected. Consumer surplus will definitely decrease because the price has increased, right? Consumers are not that happy. But now, government revenue comes into play. They also take a chunk of it as government revenue, and this area of the triangle is considered deadweight loss. Now, what's the difference between this deadweight loss in the first part and the second part? Right? It's just the difference is just that there will be more deadweight loss in terms of when there's tariffs involved, right? As compared to when there is just purely tax, right? This is the whole world price being affected as well. Okay. Moving on. Okay, before we talk about macroeconomy, there are three things I need you to know. Aggregate demand, which comprise of consumer. Aggregate demand, aggregate demand is the total demand for final goods and services in the economy. So this is what the whole country as an economy produce. So aggregate demand refers to consumption plus investment plus government spending plus net export, meaning import minus export, right? This is in a sense, it's also the GDP of the economy, right? This is the formula. This is the GDP of the economy. So, aggregate demand. When let's say tax is affected, right? When tax come into play, and then how does tax affect aggregate demand? AD on this curve will shift left. Why? Why left? Right? Because when there's tax increase, meaning lesser money for lesser disposable income for consumption. When consumption drop, what happens to the equation? The whole AD move as a whole, right? So this is the thing, right? If this tax increase is not supported with increase in government spending, right, then your AD will shift. If it's supported with increase in government spending, that means your AD will remain the same. Okay, ignore that. So that's what aggregate demand. Now for aggregate supply, there are two types. There's a long run aggregate supply and short run aggregate supply. Right? Long run, short run. Okay, what difference? Long run, it refers to the natural resources that the country has as a whole. And the only way to increase long run aggregate supply is only when you have more people, more population, more natural resources, or improve in technology. These are the only three things that will increase long run aggregate supply. In general, they will always remain unchanged one. Okay, for short run aggregate supply, these are things that are affected by price, affected by short-term volatility events. Maybe one example would be like weather conditions. One example would also be tax, right? So how does tax affect long run and short run aggregate supply and aggregate demand as a whole? So over here, your long run will be vertical line, your short run will be here. Your short run will be affected, you move down. Okay, and your aggregate demand will be affected as well. Okay, so this is how you will affect. One example would be your fat tax, right? When there's fat tax, right, prices increase, right, your short run your aggregate supply will drop, and your aggregate demand will, you have a new equilibrium over here. Okay, so why do we talk about fat tax? Because country implement fat tax quite frequently for one reason, because fat tax improves people's health. Right, such a tax lead to healthcare population improvement and also reduce healthcare costs, which increase productivity and overall well-being. Productivity increase equal higher economic output. By improving people's health, tax reduces burden on healthcare system, which can free up resources that can be allocated to other sectors of economy. This can also create positive spillover effects onto other sectors such as healthcare. Healthier workforce leads to lower absenteeism. So now we have covered through the long-term benefits. So we've seen how economics, right? If a simple diagram with a simple concept, you are able to link it into very world events, right? How it impacts the whole economy as a whole. It's as simple as like how a small little raindrop accumulated over time will actually construct into a very big event. So now moving on, we talk about decks. What are decks? Right, decks are directed acyclic graphs, whereby it's a simple graphical tool to show that there is only one direction, right? The process flow is only one direction. So how do we use DEX? Can I give you one example? Health outcome. First, you need to find out the variables and also the intended results. How do we measure? That's how we use DEX. But for simple illustration purposes, right? Health outcome, fat tax, and economic growth. So right, the purpose is that with these are current health outcomes like the obesity and also those that affect their health, right, which also leads to problems in workforce as well. So with fat tax, how does fat tax come in and contribute to improving the economic growth as a whole? These are three separate variables, but then when linked together, we can able to see that there's a correlation with all of them. Okay, one example how we can access health and economic growth consequence for fat tax will be step 1. Identify variables such as the price of unhealthy foods, income of population, and prevalence of obesity. Step 2, estimate the parameters of the models. One such way is using regression analysis. Right? Simulator can show that fat tax would lead to reduction in consumption of unhealthy food, which results in reduction in obesity and also result in lower healthcare costs. And vice versa, it can also be used to show that fat tax will lead to higher food prices, affecting low income household, which also lead to reduction in economic growth and as well as increase in poverty. So this model can actually be used to assess and estimate impact of and result of such analysis. Right, this is actually also used to inform policy decisions and also design effective interventions to promote healthier eating habits. So with that, I've come to the end of what I have learned over the course of the 13 weeks and also how I have implemented and used it to understand the world better. Right, learning economics helps to improve your analytical skills and also your decision making, which can be used maybe not just for economic events or policy decisions. It can also be used in terms of other jobs such as that requires critical thinking. So with that, I come to the end of my presentation. Thank you.